Hi everyone and welcome to a new video. Today, no charts, no news. Today it's about an exchange again. Here we go again. There will be a few more exchanges coming up. Today it's Bingx's turn. Bingx is still a relatively unknown exchange, but I already introduced it briefly on Instagram a few weeks or months ago in short form. Today, finally the video about it. Now we're getting started again. Bingx is probably not a familiar name to many of you yet. It's actually quite widespread in Asia. They're now launching more and more in Europe, aiming to become increasingly active here. And to be honest, I was a bit skeptical at first. I hadn't heard of the exchange before. You do see that new coins are being listed there all the time. They're pretty quick with that. I would say they're on the same level as Maxi, as Coin. These are basically the exchanges where coins are launched pretty quickly, and Bingx is one of them. That's why I thought, okay, I'll introduce it to you today. If you haven't registered there yet, the link is down in the video description. Just click on the crypto menu link for Bingx and you'll get over $100 in bonus, or you can claim it. It's mentioned down here as well, so definitely check it out if you're interested in the exchange. I can really only recommend it. Why, how, and for what reasons, we'll get into that in more detail now. As I said, I was a bit skeptical at first. An Asian exchange, still relatively unknown, so of course you're always a bit torn, wondering if it's really any good or not because you only know the familiar exchanges. But I've decided to give it a bit of a chance now. I've tested it too, and I have to say I'm positively surprised. You know my videos. I'm always a bit particular about the interface, and I always say, okay, the interface has to be right. When it comes to trading, I just want to be able to open trades quickly, even on my phone. There's also an App Store app, there's an Android app, so you're definitely always able to trade on the go. And the app, I have to say, is pretty awesome, just to put it simply. Everything is clearly laid out, it responds very quickly, you can open trades fast, you can close them fast, so it's really awesome. And what you also have here, which you can see right on the first page, is that you can trade crypto, you can trade indices like DAX, FTSE 100, Hang Seng, Nikkei, which very few exchanges offer. You really have to say among the traditional exchanges, let's say Forex, Bybit, Bingx, and so on, you won't find something like this. Then there's also Forex, which is very interesting too, like Euro to Yen and so on. So you can see a lot of things work on this exchange, which really left me with a positive impression. Even if you're interested in all this Forex stuff or indices, which I personally find interesting too, just trading a few stock markets like the DAX, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and so on, where we've often made comparisons like S&P 500, Nasdaq, BTC, and so on, this might actually be really interesting. And I really like that, not just about the whole exchange, but also about the app itself. You really have everything all in one in a single app, or rather, all in one on a single platform, and I think that's really cool. Like I said, you have a bunch of cryptos to choose from, as I mentioned, and a lot of new ones are being added all the time. You can trade futures just like usual, and the interface is really straightforward and user-friendly. You have the standard trading interface, so to speak, where you can do a bit of charting. There are also integrations you can add, so basically you get all the common features you'd expect. Opening a trade is also pretty easy. You can use USDT, BTC, VST, USDT bonus, and so on. You can use all of that. Long, short, all the usual options, order types like market order and limit order, it's all pretty easy. Then you enter your margin and you can use leverage up to 125 times. Honestly, if you need it, go ahead, but I'm absolutely not a fan of 125 times leverage at all. You know me, I'm more in the range of 5 to 10 times, and if at all, maybe a 20 times leverage, but you can set all that here as usual. So as you can see, you can set it to 10. You can even set decimal values here. You can even go to 1.5, so it's kind of like in Forex where you can use half a leverage. Honestly, I have no idea who actually uses that. But the option is there, you definitely have it, and I think that's pretty cool. You can also set a take profit however you want, and you can set a stop loss at 50%. But you can also just set it yourself however you like. You can see the latest trades. So in the end, it's really standard and it triggers really fast. So that means you just quickly tap on open contract and the order is placed right away on your phone, on your PC, on your laptop, wherever you're active. And I really think that's cool. And as you know, I'm honestly a fan of that. If the whole interface fits, it's easy to navigate, and of course you can also move things around a bit here to suit your preferences. So, wait, where is it? No idea. So you can make it bigger, which I personally prefer, and then arrange the orders however you want. Up there you can see what it's trading, for example BTC, UST, but you can also here, so where is it? So, well, that works, there we go. You can also set up here at the top what you want to trade. So it's still nicely organized, DeFi, NFT, Web3, which I really see as an advantage. You don't have to search for the coins anymore. So you don't have to type in the names. Instead, everything here is really nicely specialized. Web3, and then you also have the indices, which you can select from there. So those are definitely more than enough. I mean, Nikkei, Dow, Nasdaq, S&P, what more could you want? And DAX as well. That's definitely enough. Then you also have commodities, oil, gold, silver. So silver, sorry for the bit of English here. It's really nice, I have to say. You can select Forex, layer 2, layer 1. So for the fact that the exchange is still relatively unknown, it's really impressive. Could this really turn into something? And honestly, if you want to try it out, as I said, the link is down in the video description. I'll probably do it too. I'm still thinking about it a bit, but this could actually become my main exchange. If not right away, then at some point, because I'm just really convinced. Honestly, it works. Everything is really explained super well. As I said, it's still a relatively unknown exchange. But I think if things keep going the way they are, and if there's really more rollout into the European market, this could really become quite a very, very large exchange. As I said, I approached the whole thing a bit skeptically, but they really do offer fair conditions. As mentioned, not just indices and stocks, you can also do copy trading here. There are actually quite a lot of people active here, I have to say. I mean, having almost 20 follower lists full of copy traders is pretty intense. And above all, it's not all cluttered here either. You just click on the copy trader, for example. Then you can see their trading data and things like that. 30-day profit and things like that. So it's really well set up, I have to say. There's even a feed as well. So honestly, it's fantastic. It's much, much better organized than with many other exchanges. That's why I can really only recommend it. I don't know how many times I should say it, but I'm genuinely positively surprised. As I said, I've never had anything to do with the exchange before. Sure, you always hear about it. You check out coins and things like that. And look, yeah, where is the coin listed now? Well, Bingx didn't mean anything to me before. You really have to be careful with that. There are also a lot of exchanges in the Asian market. Gate.io is probably familiar to many of you, and I was absolutely dissatisfied with it. Back then, I bought Yoshi there, and honestly, it was just nonsense, you could say. It was super complicated. Just clicking on buy, then something with a trigger, and it took forever until you actually managed to buy your Yoshi and all that. And here, it really works perfectly. So there's really nothing to complain about. Everything is really well organized. You also get all the most common coins, so also for trading and things like that. You can actually set favorites for yourself. For example, I've just set AVAX, VET, and Poker City as my favorites. Poker City is still one of those coins where I say, okay, it's still one of my favorites. But you can really see that quite well here. Even the smaller coins are simply listed here. Now, aside from AVAX, VETI is also a coin that I keep an eye on. But I really, really like it. As I said, just try it out for yourself. For me now, I'd say as an all-in-one platform, it's at least in second place. If not even in first place by now. Maybe I could even make a ranking at some point, but I have to say I'm really, really positively surprised by it because it's just awesome, also with Luna Coin and things like that. You can also see how quickly everything opens up here, which is really important. So you click on it and it's open right away, you can quickly place a trade and so on. Everything loads pretty fast. The updates, so I've had the app for a few days now, or I think 1 or 2 weeks already, and everything really works perfectly. So, as I said, feel free to check it out, give it a try. I can honestly recommend it to you from the heart. As I said, it's an awesome website, you get all the essentials. Of course, I still recommend using TradingView and similar tools, so don't just rely on these charts here. Get TradingView as well, so you can cross-check everything a bit more, but still for trading indices, Forex and so on, you really have an all-in-one platform here. As I said, if you're interested in copy trading, just check it out and take your time to look at everything. If that's really something you're into, maybe if you want, I can try it out myself sometime. I'm actually a fan of testing out different things from time to time. So if you want me to test out a few copy traders, just let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you have any questions about the exchange, feel free to write them in the comments below or message me privately, whatever you prefer. As I said, I'll definitely rank it as number 1 or 2. These are now the top platforms, in my opinion, in terms of the whole package, the app, user friendliness, and the new coins being listed. There are also always new anniversary events or whatever kind of promotions where you can participate, which is also pretty cool. There's more and more coming. As I said, the rollout into the European market is happening gradually now. I'm also in contact with a few people about it, so there's definitely a lot more to come. There's really a lot here. Of course, you can also listen in a bit. I don't know, there's really a ton to check out. For example, you can buy crypto directly through them. Just as an example, you simply enter $200 here, click on now, and then you'll see different providers displayed. You can also see here which one is the cheapest. MoonPay, for example, depending on what you use, SEPA or whatever. What else can I say? Check out their Telegram, Twitter, Facebook, or wherever you want. Definitely take a look. As I said, I can really recommend it to you. I'm satisfied and will probably use it more and more from now on. I'll also test it a bit more thoroughly with even more trades. But yeah, I'm completely satisfied. I was positively surprised. Like I said, I had only heard about the exchange in passing before. But yeah, okay, I'm just going to give it a try now. And it turns out I think I've kind of fallen in love with this exchange because I'm honestly really positively surprised. But anyway, I've talked about it enough now. If you're interested, check out the link to Bingx in the video description below. You'll get a bonus if you sign up through my link, Just Crypto Manu. I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or contact me personally. I hope you enjoyed the video, even though there was a lot of praise, but honestly, I was really so surprised by it. I wouldn't have thought so myself because I've already tested so many exchanges and always had something to complain about. Either the apps weren't that great or the interface didn't fit or something else was off. But here I'm completely satisfied. I'm definitely giving this a 10 out of 10. Maybe I should actually start giving ratings too. So definitely a 10 out of 10 for Bingx. It's hard to achieve that, to be honest. But who knows, maybe with the next exchanges there will be even more surprises for me. But anyway, stay tuned. Look forward to it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it a little. As I said, the link is down in the video description. We'll catch up again in the next video, and of course I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to know more. We'll talk again soon. Ciao, ciao. Stay crypto.